My Lords, I'm grateful to the Noble Lord Richard for his report and members of the committee, but I think more particularly to the members of the committee who produced the alternative report, which I think is really quite excellent. And I would like to say to the Noble Lord Ashdown, who said that democracy is in trouble or in danger, I think he said because of the lack of power of this House, or the weaknesses of this House. The reason democracy is in trouble and Parliament is in trouble is because over the years we have given so many powers away to the European Union. That is why our democracy is in danger, not because of any shortcomings of this House. Let me just remind your Lordships that over the years just that I've been here, we have largely neutered Parliament by giving powers of immigration, employment, social policy, trade, agriculture, fisheries, and energy, and those to name just the most obvious powers we have given away. I recently asked a question about the recent budget put forward by the government when they said they were going to price drink. They were going to increase the price of drink in supermarkets. I asked them whether whether their proposal for minimum price for alcohol was compliant with European Union law. The answer I got back from Noble Lord Hendy was that this government is currently in discussions with the EU Commission on this issue. My Lords, that's where we've got to now. The Parliament, whether it's the House of Commons or this House, cannot even decide the price of drink in this country without going to the members of the Commission in Brussels for them to tell us what we can do or what we cannot do. So I said to myself before putting my name down to this, why all the fuss? And arguing about the reform of the law sometimes seems to me like two bald men arguing over a comb. It just isn't worth it. But then I reminded myself that all recent opinion polls over the last 2 years have shown that a great majority of people in this country now want a referendum on our membership of the European Union. And also I was encouraged the other day by the poll in The Sun that so that UKIP has recently overtaken the Liberal Democratic Party as the third most popular party in the country. So when people in this country are given the right to vote on a referendum on the membership of the EU, then I think after that referendum Parliament will get its powers back. And therefore I think that discussing reform of the House of Lords is indeed valuable, and I'm delighted we've got the opportunity to do so today. And I have to say that I'm more attracted by the report of the alternative report than by the committee report itself. And I do not think that the alternative report should be spoken of as a minority report. Looking at the figures, it seems to me that excluding the chairman, the minority of the alternative report was produced by exactly half the members of the committee. So it has, to my mind at least equal validity with that of the main committee. And I have to say I'm quite surprised that members of who produced the alternative report felt able to sign the committee's report at all, given the list on page 33 of the alternative report of the very fundamental areas in which they differ from the committee's report. That we have primacy, electoral mandate, powers, electoral democracy, constituency issues, funding limits, ministerial voting, and transition. On all these fundamental points, the alternative report argues very persuasively against the conclusions of their committee. Now, I do very much hope we won't have to waste a lot of valuable time vetting the Deputy Prime Minister's bill. But if we do so, I think the House of Lords, this House, owes a vote of thanks to members of the committee who produced the alternative report, Noble Barons Lord Simons and others who have given a lot of time to producing this alternative, a very valuable report. I support the conclusions in the alternative report and their recommendations for incremental reform based on the Noble Lord Steele's bill, and for the establishment of a constitutional convention to consider the next steps. My Lords, in preparing for this debate, I look back to the 1911 debate in this House on the introduction of the Parliament Act, which was on the 10th of August 1911, 2 days before the beginning of the grouse shooting season. My grandfather led the opposition to that bill as leader of the so-called diehards or last ditchers. Now, I do realise, of course, that the noble Lady Baroness Simons and the noble Lord Norton and others who produced the alternative report would balk in horror, would recoil at the thought of being called ditchers or diehards. But I hope the one thing they will share with my grandfather is conviction to stand up for their beliefs. I will certainly stand with them if the battle is ever joined.